Welcome to Madison Noteworthy Health. I'm your host, Dr. Frank Byrne, and we're here today with John Bielt, the CEO and co-founder of Quietyme. Welcome, John.
Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
So, John, what is Quietyme?
So Quietyme monitors the environment in hospitals, especially around noise, but we also do temperature and humidity. But we really focus on decreasing the amount of noise so patients can sleep.
Tell us a little about yourself, your background, and what path led you here to Quietyme.
So I think I've been an entrepreneur ever since I've been born, because as far back as I can remember, I've been selling something or trying to build a little business around making money, I guess. And what led me to building Quietyme was really a visit to the generator program. I had built a completely different business and went through the very first class that they had. And when I realized that wasn't going to be a rocket ship that solved all my financial problems for the rest of my life, we came back to this idea. And really the network that I established allowed me to build this. So when I mentioned that nurses were being called all the time when they weren't really the ones that's going to perform the service, we were talking to them and we said, well, what if you had a button you could push to get housekeeping to come instead of calling the nurse? And they said, well, if you're going to give me a button, I want multiple buttons. We realized that'd be far too confusing. So what we did is we created this little cube, and our system can sense what position it's in. So by simply taking it from a neutral position and flipping it to this position, it would indicate to a CNA that this person needs to use the restroom, so that they would respond directly.
So if this side was up, it would show they wanted to go to the restroom. If this side would up, it would mean that it was up, would mean they needed some help with the temperature. Mm-hmm. This one, obviously, for food.
Yep.
And for housekeeping to clean the room.
And on the bottom, they can get a beverage of their choice. So housekeeping is one of the metrics that they use to rate quality in a hospital.
Yeah.
Medicare asks, was your room clean? And 25% nationally say no. So it kind of was appalling to me to think that 25% of our patients are laying in beds in rooms that they think are dirty, and then they go home and fill out the survey accordingly. That's where the button idea came. If I could just push a button and say, well, there's a cobweb in the light above my head and that's annoying me, we could answer those things in real time and get better ratings and have better patient experience.
So John, you've had a long and successful entrepreneurial career. You've also experienced the ups and the downs of being an entrepreneur, of having a great idea and trying to move it forward. What advice would you have for other entrepreneurs?
I think the networking effect is really underrated. I know I kind of created my first business in a vacuum, the one that I was taking to Generator the first time. I didn't have the network. And at some point I realized I had to do that, but I didn't understand the power of it. So staying close to the groups here in Madison, getting really involved in the different entrepreneurial groups and the startup scene will really advance your cause. You may find out that your idea is not going to be successful, but very quickly, so you don't waste a lot of time doing it. And that would have been a benefit to me the first time. I think when the guys told me that, they said, well, we didn't really like your first idea anyway. I'm like, well, you just wasted 6 months of my life. I would have gave that up right away if I knew something better was there. So really get involved with the community and don't just look at what you can get out of it, but what you can bring to it. Because when you bring something, you get things back automatically. So stick close.
Well, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for sharing your insights. I think you've given a lot of great advice to the entrepreneurs in our community and potential entrepreneurs. And thank you for joining us on Madison Noteworthy Health.